Hi.
Hi, Jean.
Hi there. How are you guys?
I'm doing
Good. How are
great.
you?
How are you
Excellent.
today?
Good. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man, so we'll try to not pick your brain too much. We
Well,
end up
thank
to
you
go
guys
over our
for
time usually.
How are
for doing
you?
this. I
So good to
appreciate it.
see you.
Yeah. So I'm Shell, and Lisa, and we're Women in the Pit, 777, and we wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit about the upcoming. Um, we'll talk about the reunification or reuniting of the band and kind of the latest album that you guys have been working on for like about a decade, I'm guessing, the Extinction Level Event, and kind of get the lowdown on how that came to be and how you guys decided to come back together and what can fans expect coming up on the tours.
Excellent. I'm all for it. And Laura sends her best to you. She loves you very much. So
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask about how she's doing. Are you guys so super excited, I imagine?
right. Yeah, we've been on the road for most of this a ton of this year. We just got back a few days ago, and so now we're getting ready for the US run. So everybody's super excited, but I'm sure we'll get into a lot of that as we go.
So
Sounds good.
the US run and the album release are the same day. Is that correct? The
Pretty
5th?
much, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the 5th, I guess is going to come out. That's must be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. God, it's been long enough. So we are all really excited, and it I can talk as much about all of it as you guys like. So I can kick it all off now if you guys like.
Yes.
Yes, please.
We are so excited. We're excited for both. I mean, it's been a long time coming, the new Dark Angel record, and yes, of course, it is called Extinction Level Event. And I'm really excited about it. We all are. I can't wait for everybody to hear the record. God, it's such a pummeling, pounding record. I dig it. And, I love everything about it. So I love the music. I love the performances. I love the artwork. I love the lyrics. I love just everything about it. So I'm super stoked. And it's been, of course, 34 years since Dark Angel released our last record, which was called Time Does Not Heal. And so, just the fact that so many, 3.5 decades later, we can come out with a brand new, fresh sounding record, I'm really excited about. And to go along with it is this kick ass US tour featuring Dark Angel, Sacred Reich, Hyrax, Violence, Midnight, just select dates for everybody, So we're just really stoked to, bring some serious amount of thrash to everybody, and definitely some very Dark Angel-esque kind of thrash is going to be a part of it. Our shows are pretty intense, and we're rehearsing all the new material like crazy right now. So we're going to be playing quite a bit of the new record. So it's a really exciting time for us all at the moment, and I'm just really excited for everybody to hear the record. And and like anybody will ever think, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter if people like it or don't like it. All I want people to do is hear it. Let you guys make up your mind. If you dig it, great. If you don't dig it, that's fine too. But just listen to it. Listen to the whole record. Check it out. And I'm serious. God, if you call yourself a thrash fan and you're not like
Yeah.
completely like bowled over by this record, I don't know what to tell you. So
Well,
there you go.
I
Metal
do know that
thrashing
there's,
madness. Sorry.
yeah, that's okay.
That's a plug for Maria. Metal thrashing madness. All right.
Right.
I was thinking, I know that you've had two singles put out already from the record and
Mhm.
Extinction Level Event and Circular Firing Squad. And I did listen to Firing Squad and it was fantastic. And it is the thrash that you expect from Dark
Well,
Angel.
thank you very much. And while
How
you're at it, check
exciting.
out Extinction Level Event. I'm sure it's around. That is very Dark Angel esque. That is the most, for me, the title track is the greatest bridge from the old school into the newer school of, that sounds very, very, very Dark Angel esque. And that song was, for the most part, written by Jim Durkin, our dearly departed brother. But that was kind of the song, in its nascent form. That was the song that kickstarted everything for us to get the new like just music on the go, you know, the thoughts of a new record, because Jim was bringing some pretty mighty material, and you know, I'm no slouch with the writing, and you know, having everybody's influence in there, you know, Laura Christine, I mean, her influence is all over the record, and she writes some of the best riffs on the album. And you know, Eric's got some stuff going too. So just the way that it all kind of kicked off was through that song Extinction Level Event. And you might, that is a definite Dark Angel stamp on that. Lots of speed, really fast, brutal riffing, roaring vocals, you know, all the good stuff. So both those songs are great, you know, great examples of where the band is at the moment. And the whole record is just a kick-ass record. You know, I'm really stoked. We're coming down to the final few days before it's coming out, and again, I'm just really, really excited. So there you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to, I'm sorry, Shel.
That's okay.
Pleased to see that there is a Berkeley Bay Area date on this run. On this.
Oh, kick ass.
Yeah. I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
Got to play the Bay Area. Got to play Berkeley. Got to play Ruthie's.
Right. Got to play Ruthie's in. It'll be a Ruthie's in style for sure, though.
Darn tootin', gosh, got old violence and also Sacred Reich. Yeah, Hyrax.
Yeah,
bring the heavy.
Hyrax, all those guys are all heavy hitters, and it's going to be a amazing thrash extravaganza.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask about what you're writing. You kind of started to talk about it for a little bit. Jim Durkin had written, I think you said the first single, but some of the writing process that was yours, what went into that is compared to the older albums to 34 years later? Is there sort of a departure or a
Indeed there was. And that was just like Jim and I started off the whole writing process in the same way that we did on Darkness Ascends and Leave Scars, and also the way that Brett Erickson and I did on Time Does Not Heal. And you know, Chris McCarthy on what was going to be the next record of Dark Angel, which was ironically going to be titled Atrocity Exhibition. And we came up with I don't know, 15 songs. That album never came out. I know Gary and I just happened to read the same book, I'm sure.
Oh, is that what that's from? I knew that.
Oh yeah, it's from a book. Yeah, it's from a book. And so that writing process entailed, you know, my writing partner and myself, you know, Jim, Brett, Chris, and myself just sitting in the same room, you know, throwing riffs around together, you know, just writing riffs together. And Jim and I started off that way. And Jim and myself both had a pretty busy schedule. Like Jim had gone and, you know, he got himself a very lucrative career outside of the music industry after he had left Dark Angel back in 1989. And so I was pretty busy as well with all the bands that I was doing. But every time I would have any kind of form of any time I would be in town off the road for a little bit, I would head on up to Jim's. I live in San Diego. Jim lived in Lakewood, California. So, you know, I would take the 2.5 hour drive up to his place. We'd try to bash out as many riffs as we could. And that was one thing that Jim was always rather challenged with, was trying to get them onto his computer and then turn around and get them in some form of downloadable form so we could listen to them. So that was kind of where when Jim, like when it came to the point where I was going to have some time to start really, really working on the record, Jim, this had happened a number of times throughout the years where Jim would sort of kind of disappear for a little bit, you know, like disappear off our text threads or the emails. He wouldn't answer phone calls. And that's okay, because he was just always really busy with his job and his career and things like that. And we always understood that. And it was getting to the point where it was like, Jim, I've got some time available where, you know, we can get together, you know, pandemic's over. Let's, you know, because that shut a lot of things down too. The pandemic's over. Let's get together and let's start writing and let's start compiling all these ideas that we have. We have a whole ton of ideas. And I wasn't getting much response back. So it was like, that's cool, bro. I'm going to keep on writing over here. I'm just going to start writing songs and getting them together. So that started coming about, and it wasn't that long afterwards, all that we lost Jim, and so that's where it just became, we when Jim disappeared, went MIA like Jim was known to do, none of us thought that was any big deal. So that's just what Jim does. And so when, we didn't expect him to pass away, that was a shock to all of us. But we had already started recording the album, and I just took what Jim had, that one song, and so that was one I knew. I could play it, so I did the demo for it, and I just started writing a bunch of demos. And from time to time, Laura Christine was a huge help for me writing when I hit some kind of block. She'd come in and throw in a riff, and like I say, she's got the best riffs on the record, and so having Jim Durkin's style was a big part of it. Like Jim was my very first guitar hero. So, he was my very first writing partner. I learned how to play a lot of guitar by playing it with Jim, and so I tried to absorb as much Jim Durkin style as possible. I definitely absorbed a ton of Laura Christine's style and her vibe. She's one of my most respected guitar players and riff writers and things like that. So, we've worked together for 17 years or something like that. So that influence was there. And so when it came time to, what is Dark Angel going to do for this new material? Like, what are we going to do? Because everybody was asking, like, is it going to sound like Darkness Descends? Is it going to sound like Time Does Not Heal? And I wanted to take, the energies of both albums, but I didn't want it to sound like like something Dark Angel did before. Dark Angel's always been in a state of evolution. None of our albums have ever sounded like each other. So, why make this latest record sound like one of the old ones? So I just kind of thought, what would Dark Angel write if we had just kept writing, putting out records for the last 30 something years? Where would we be at now? And so just take that kind of tact, and that made everything really easy. It's like, I don't have to live up to Darkness Descends. I don't have to live up to Time Does Not Heal or any of our other records. It just write what is now, write what we feel, what I feel. And so that's kind of how this writing process came about. So that's why the record sounds unlike any of our others, but it definitely sounds like Dark Angel. So, it's kind of a win-win in that regard. So there you go.
It shows the evolution of Dark Angel. So I think that's fantastic.
It is an eternal evolution, I tell you.
And an input from everybody, it seems, from Jim and from Laura Christine and from you and it just seems like everything is going to be in there, but it's still going to be along the lines of, like you said, pummeling thrash.
Absolutely. I just wanted to write something that was an instant classic. I feel like it is. That's up to everybody else to determine. That's for everybody out there to, if everybody agrees with me, great. And if they don't, that's fine too. I love the record and I cannot stop listening to it. So it's my favorite album at the moment. And I had to really shut down a lot of everything, over the last, pile of time while writing the record. I didn't want to be influenced by anybody outside of Jim or Dark Angel or Laura or myself, or anything. So I had to shut down here, staying in touch with what's going on. I think the production is probably going to be a little bit different than most other productions now. And I'll let people decide if they like it or they don't, but it is a very organic production. It's made with live amps and live drums and live everything. We didn't sit in front of like our little stations at home and track to plugins or anything like that. None of that. And there's no sound replacement on the drums. It's just, this is how the band recorded. So there you go.
Wow. Awesome.
That's fantastic. You had mentioned about the collaborative effort of the writing of the lyrics. What about the artwork of the album itself? I know that you usually have a hand in that. And who did you use this time for the artwork?
Well, we used a very dear friend, and boy, he's been a brother for pushing 20 years. His name's Kane
Oh,
Gillis, and
okay.
Laura introduced me to Kane years and years and years ago. Kane even played in the band Meldrum with Laura and myself for a brief period, and she's known Kane forever. And Kane has been doing artwork for Dark Angel since Dark Angel returned. He's been doing
Oh,
artwork for Death to All as well, and a few years ago, I got with Kane and said, here is what I want to do is have for each panel on the album, I want there to be some kind of artwork that reflects the lyrics of each panel. So and he went to work on it, like this is, I people have been telling me that people are like, I don't pay attention to social media. I'm sorry, I'm not on it. If you ever say anything to Gene, that's not Gene doing it.
That's not him.
No, I have a butler. I'm living the life. I don't have time to document the life. I'm shocked and surprised at how many people do have the time to get on their social medias and their Instagrams and all that. So I don't do any of that. So, but it's been mentioned to me that people are crabbing about AI and things like that. This is a human being that did all this, like I got together with Kane and said, however you need to come up with this, here are the concepts of the songs. Here's the concepts of the artwork. I gave him a very detailed delineation of what I wanted to see in most of the artworks. And to a large degree, we got to do that. And I'm like, I'm leaving it up to your own devices, Kane. However you want to come up with it, you're getting paid either way for it. So like there you go. So that's why I love the artwork. We're doing something that, hey, I've shown, not a lot of people have seen the entirety of the whole album yet, but the few I've shown, folks in the industry, they're like, people don't do this anymore. People don't like an artwork for each panel of your fold out sheet. Like
that's really amazing.
That is really over the top, so. And that's for the deluxe editions, of course, but, we really tried to put a lot of love into this. And if we get no love back from the thousands of people that want to crab about it, that's fine. It never reaches me. It reaches others that kind of report to me. And it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, like
as it should. Yeah.
These are the same people that 25 years ago took away our livelihood by streaming and stealing our music. Those are the same people that are going to be like little keyboard warriors going, hey, exactly. Virtue signaling. That's man, I've never been affected by the opinions of others, and I'm not going to start now. So there you go.
Keyboard warriors. That's perfect because that's all they do. That's all they do. It's annoying.
There's a lot of that, unfortunately, and I wish that I could stay off social media more. I always say, let's get rid of the television because
believe me, it's easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's easier than getting off diabetes.
But
that's true.
I met with resistance on that. I'd like to not have any television at all. And I think we would get so much more done. I really believe that. Yeah.
A lot more active. Yeah. Speaking of interesting, I noticed that you had recently posted, or somebody had recently posted on Instagram that you were in the studios in Henson Studios with Slash and with Bear for Slash's upcoming horror film, Deathstalker, which is one of my favorite things is horror films. And so just want to see how that came about. And if you can give us any insight on maybe when it might be released or what they're doing.
Like we've been keeping it kind of under wraps for some time. This happened some time ago. And it was just pretty much, we had been told to keep it quiet until Slash starts talking about it. Cause Slash is a movie producer now. And, I don't know how many films he's done, but apparently this is an old, this is, probably 40-year-old movie or something, the original Deathstalker. And so I know the original writer for the original theme was also in the studio with us. And we just, Bear, I've done a ton of work with Bear, and Slash played on Bear's record, as did
Laura.
Yeah, Laura did
Laura
too.
Chris-
Absolutely. And a ton of folks. There's tons of people
Tons of
played on
people.
Bear's
I
record.
kept up with that. I really love that guy. I think he's so talented. Everybody in that whole um, album was amazing. I was so
Excellent.
impressed.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, man. Uh Bear's record, The Singularity, is it's a killer record. I suggest everybody check it out. And so a lot of people that are unfamiliar with the fact that Bear McCreary has this kick-ass, very metallic solo record out, a lot of people are more familiar with the fact that Bear does a lot of scoring and orchestrations for films and TV and video games. God of War is one of his video games that he's done all the music for, all the latest incarnations of that. And he also his couple of latest things that he's been doing, like he's done The Walking Dead, all the music for The Walking Dead. He's done all the music for the new Amazon series. What's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
wow.
The Rings of Power. That's right.
Yeah, he does all that. And we did a song for one of those episodes with featuring Jens Kidman. It was a song called "The Last Ballad of Damrod." I'm sure it's on YouTube. Go check it out. Pretty heavy tune, pretty odd song. And so, Bear is really he's well acquainted with the whole concept of film scoring and things like that, and TV scoring. So, I guess Bear and Slash have been working on Slash's remake of Deathstalker. So it's a pretty rocking song. I don't know when the release date is. I think that's when they were just like, hey, just release date, to be confirmed at some point. But we were keeping it quiet until Slash started talking about it apparently last week. So it's like,
okay.
We got the word from Bear saying, hey, everybody involved, like, throw this
Go
up.
for it.
Man, go for it now. So that's cool.
I think Rob Zombie's another one that directs movies. I think
Indeed,
horror movies. So
yeah, for sure.
I like the crossover.
Right. Well, I don't like horror movies, but he
I
has
love them.
My favorite movies ever. The Devil's Rejects. I love that movie, and I'm not a horror movie person.
Fair enough. Nor am I. Real life is way more horrifying.
Right, way more horrific.
Yeah, that's where I've been for the last 50 years.
So the tour is kicking off soon. I believe the release is September 5th?
That's right.
And then you're going to go on tour. What can fans expect during the tour? We're going to have a over the top production, or as we come to expect with Dark Angel?
Well, in terms of over the top production, boy, I guess the over the topness will probably come through the musical brutality of everything, because we have a pretty relentless set. And up till this point, we have not really ventured into the production angle of things, like pyro or crazy lighting or odd things like that. We aspire to that, but I have to kind of view Dark Angel as we are a brand new band again. We have to go out and prove ourselves, So everybody that wants an incredible night of very severe, relentless thrash metal, come on out to the shows, because you're going to be like I've been saying for all of our shows, you do not want to be the person that gets the phone call the next day saying, where were you? That was a great night. You missed it. You don't want to be that person, because Dark Angel's going to bring it. Sacred Reich's going to bring it. Hyrax is going to bring it. Violence is going to bring it. Everybody's bringing it, man. We're all going to try to blow each other off the stage, I'm sure. And it's, who wins? The audience.
Absolutely.
We all win, because we get to play in front of some crazy maniacs. Come on out, get crazy. Come out and have to share the quote, some good, friendly, violent fun. And so there you go. Yeah, it's going to be a kick-ass night of severe metal. Dark Angel is very relentless live. We intend to be playing a ton of quite a number of new songs, and so come check it out. You're going to hear a bunch of songs you already know, and hopefully you're going to hear these new tunes and go, whoa, what's happening there? Those guys are killer. So it's a win-win for everybody, hopefully.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I was really happy to see the date, October 15th at the Velasco. No, that's in LA. Sorry, the UC Theater.
Oh,
Yeah.
the UC Theater. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great place. You'll
Excellent.
expect to see us. We'll be there.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing you guys. Bring the old man out too if he's around.
Yeah, I hope he is around. When is that?
We
October
do too.
15th? Not sure yet.
We'll see, boy. Those guys are on the road more than anybody else. I tell you.
Right.
Yeah, it's always something new's popping up and being developed, and I'm always the last to learn, but that's okay. I go anyway. I'll just show up. Just tell me where to be.
As long as you're in the flow, that's all that matters. Totally.
Yes.
Well, Jean, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate the information and the insight on what's going on with the band and the album.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
Shell and Lisa, thank you guys very much for your time. Really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you guys at the show and
yes,
coming out and get violent. It's going to be killer.
Sounds good.
Very well.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
We'll see you guys. You
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.